Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette. I'm so excited to be using this palette. I've used it a few times and I honestly love this palette so much. I can't stop saying enough good things about it. But honestly, that is how I feel about a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. But I'm so excited to be using it, so let's just jump right on in. So for my first shade, I'm going to be going into New Yorker, and I'm just going to take that and put it in my crease. And I'm not exactly sure what look I'm going to do today. I've used this palette a few times and I've tried to do different looks every time just so that I can play around with the different colors and get as much use out of them all as I can. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing yet today. I have a slight idea, but we'll see. So now I'm just blending out my crease before I go into the next color. And I just want to blend it out really good. Okay, so that looks pretty blended out enough for now. Obviously, I will be going back into it later to blend out more, but for now, that should work. And then for the next shade, I will be going into OG, and I'm going to just simply put that in the outer corner of my eye and bring it in a little as I start building up the base for my overall look. I'm bringing this shade to about the middle of my eye. And the one thing that I've noticed with the two shades, New Yorker and OG, is they are pretty similar. Their undertones are a little different, but other than that, they are pretty similar in shade. So that's not necessarily a big deal to me, but for those who haven't really used or seen the palette much, I did just want to point that out. And then I'm going to go into 1988 and I'm going to start just darkening up my outer corner. And when I'm taking 1988 to darken out my outer corner, I am bringing it into my crease just a little bit, just for a little extra definition. I do like to do that a lot with my shadows for whatever reason. It just helps frame the shape of my eye, I feel like. So I'm just packing it on there lightly for now. And then just bringing the excess out into my crease. And I'm going to take my blending brush and blend this all out now. One thing Anastasia Beverly Hills has really gotten good with over the years is their shades and how well they blend out. I remember when I first started using Anastasia Beverly Hills like years ago, and I would get frustrated because the shades would be patchy and they didn't blend the best in my opinion, but I also was newer to makeup at the time, so it's very possible that there was a lot of user error in that as well. But the quality of Anastasia Beverly Hills the past couple years has really just skyrocketed. I personally don't think very many other brands can compare to the quality of Anastasia Beverly Hills. But then again, anyone who knows me and hears me talk about makeup, they also know that ABH is probably my hands down favorite brand, at least for eyeshadow palettes. I've used a few of their other products, but for eyeshadow palettes, my absolute favorite brand. I think I have like 13 palettes by them. I really do like Anastasia Beverly Hills, and the way that Norvina has just really taken the brand into a whole nother level lately has just been incredible. So now I'm going into Yugo, and I'm going to darken up my outer corner a little more. I'm just applying it to the very outer edge. I just want to darken it up slightly. So I'm not doing too much with it, just enough to really get a darker look. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog right now. He's like spazzing out on my bed. He's just rolling around and I don't even know what he's doing. I never really know what he's doing, to be honest. He just does his own thing. I'm really liking the way this is coming together. This was a little darker than I thought I was gonna go with, but you know, I'm not complaining, to be honest. So for my shimmer shade, I think I'm going to go into Anastasia. I think it's just a pretty color and I really love it. So I just took my flat shader brush and I wet it with my Morphe setting spray, which is honestly one of my favorite setting sprays. And I'm just going to go into Anastasia and start applying that to my inner corner. And honestly, this is such a pretty color. If there's one thing Anastasia Beverly Hills does right, it's their shimmer shades. And then I think, just to add a little pop of color, I think I'm going to take Liddy. It's a gold with like purple reflexes. And I'm just going to add that to the middle of my shade. And if I remember correctly, this shade is a straight up glitter, which technically isn't eye safe, so you do have to be careful with them. I personally don't use glitter glues with my glitters. I just usually, for the most part, just take my finger and put them on. I guess one of these days I could try glitter glue, but I've honestly never really felt the need for it, so I've just never really used them before. Then I'm just going to take Wasted and apply it to just the very inner corner of my eye. And then now I'm done with that. I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of my makeup. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did the rest of my makeup off camera and I love the way this look came out. Like I said earlier, I've done several looks with this palette. I've used quite a few shades. I've used almost all of them actually, and every single look has come out amazingly. But again, It's Anastasia Beverly Hills, so I'm not exactly surprised that I love the look that I was able to create with this palette. So it is definitely a natural, more like everyday look that I went with this palette. And I wasn't sure what direction I was going to take it, if it was going to have more color, if it was going to stay a little more subdued, but I definitely think it came out really well. So this palette is one of my favorite palettes to use so far. I've had it for just a few weeks now, and I've used it several times a week since getting it. I've definitely enjoyed it, and I do think it's a good staple palette that anyone can use and take on vacation or a business trip or anything like that, because you can get multiple different looks. You can get the fun, bright looks, or you can get the everyday look that you need for work or the business trip or whatever you're on. So I would recommend this palette to anybody. Of course, I would recommend just about every single ABH palette to anybody, but I definitely do recommend this palette. And the one thing, you can't go wrong with the glitter. I love the glitter casing. I think it's just, I love glitter, so I love the casing. It's just so pretty. The gold with the pink background. I just think everything about this palette is just gorgeous, and you can see it has been a little loved on since I got it, and I am very pleased with this palette. I definitely recommend it to anybody who wants a solid staple for their collection. So thanks for watching my video today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!